Hi, this is Melanie from Blue Diamonds, and today I want to talk to you about handling rejections and failures. So it's kind of when things don't go to plan and how to deal with these things instead. Now, what kind of things am I talking about? Maybe you're not landing that job that you were hoping for. Maybe you've gone for a big recruitment process and then at the end of the day you didn't get the job. Or maybe you've missed out on a promotion and maybe it's not the first time, or it was kind of you've been building up to that for the whole of your career. Maybe you've been made redundant, and sometimes people are kind of not expecting redundancy when it comes along, and sometimes people think that the idea of redundancy might be good, and then actually when it happens to them, they feel a sense of disappointment and loss as they are processing it. There could be other examples as well. So this could also apply to, I guess, things that are less career changing or significant, and yet sometimes we feel these things just as much. And that could be, we've put an idea or a proposal forward and it's not been taken up, or it's been kind of dismissed or discounted, or maybe we've made some kind of mistake or error of judgment as well. So any of these kind of rejections or failures, mishaps, that's what we're talking about today. Now, I have come up with 7 steps, kind of not like a checklist to go through, but 7 steps, things to consider when you find yourself in this situation. And maybe it's not you that found yourself in this situation. Maybe it's other people that you work with, and you can help them through this as well. So, the first step is acknowledging your feelings and being kind to yourself. And I would say it's fair to say that whenever we kind of find ourselves in this situation, we might be feeling disappointed, we might be feeling frustrated, we might be feeling kind of embarrassment or shame. And actually, instead of just brushing it off or being harsh to ourselves, not speaking to ourselves in a nice way, maybe give yourself permission to feel what you feel. Maybe speaking to yourself as you would to a trusted friend. Often we are harsher, much harsher to ourselves than we would ever be to other people, and actually finding a way to be kinder. And the other thing, the final thing, is kind of to stop ruminating. So sometimes these things go round and round in our head, and I could have done this, or why did this happen to me, or what? And actually being able to stop and feeling something more positive and being kinder to ourselves instead. The second point then is separating your identity from the outcome. So just because something has happened, whether it's a rejection or a failure or a mishap or an error of judgment, it doesn't mean that you are a failure. Things don't always go to plan for everybody all of the time. Some of these things are big, some of these things are less big, but that doesn't mean that you are a failure. And so being able to, I guess, step out from this, and rather than saying, I failed or this happened to me, actually that idea wasn't accepted or I wasn't successful this time. So being able to kind of step outside beyond this. And all of us, we are much more than one project, one pitch, one interview, one role. We are much more than that. And often there's an opportunity that can come from this. And actually, this brings us nicely onto the next point. The third point is about looking for the learning. Now, sometimes it can be very hard to do this in the near term, especially some of these big kind of life changing or big things that are a big surprise. Often we cannot think straight, we cannot think in a proactive and forward looking way in the moment. But actually, at the point when we can, or maybe helping through talking with others and helping to look at this, being able to ask, so what did I learn about myself? What did I learn from this situation? And what can I do differently next time? Or what advice would I give to somebody else or myself in the future? Sometimes it's a lesson that actually it's not us, it's not the right time for us, whatever. So there can be some really important lessons that we take from this. And I remember once in the past, I'd applied for a job. I was sure I was going to get it. It was a really important job. It was a step up for me and definitely something that I was really wanted. And I went through the interview process, and ultimately somebody else got the job. And I was quite philosophical about this, maybe not in the moment, but after that, and I felt like it was the right thing, and actually it allowed me to change paths and do something different as well. So taking the learning from that, that's the third point. The fourth point then is reframing the story. And often we can take the experience and change it into a more useful narrative. And it might be something like, well, it didn't work out this time, but actually it's moved me one step closer to where I want to be. So sometimes we didn't get that particular job, but we've been through a tough interview process. We've met lots of interesting people. We've learned about what we do want. We've learned about what we don't want. And it is about taking us closer to where we want to be. And certainly as a business owner, when I'm running my own business, one of the things that I've heard is that yes lives in the land of no's. Often we have to have lots of sales conversations and things before we can get successful. And actually, this is a really important journey to go on as well. We could also reframe things in terms of maybe now I have experience handling this kind of situation, and that's valuable or that's invaluable in terms of helping equip me for the next steps, etc. So that reframing can be really useful. The fifth point, always a nice one, always quite a simple one, is talking it through. Now, we can talk it through with anybody that we trust. This could be a boss, a friend, somebody outside of work, a trusted colleague inside of work. It could be a coach, it could be a mentor. It doesn't matter too much about it, who it is, but just talking things through, getting things out of your head and sharing it can help you to gain perspective. It can sometimes help to normalize the experience and understand that actually a lot of people face setbacks all the time and how other people deal with things. And it could also help you find encouragement and practical ideas for moving forward. Now, sometimes just the fact of us saying things out loud helps us to realize the next steps. So that talking can always be useful. Got two more steps left. Step number 6 is taking some action. Even if we're taking really small steps forward and it feels like we're moving just a tiny bit, taking that forward momentum is really important. And there's a saying, isn't there, that a journey of 1,000 miles starts with some small steps. So being able to start moving forward is really, really critical. It might be that you need to go back and revisit your goals. It might be that you need to take your existing approach and maybe tweak it, or maybe tweak our mindset around this. And it might be about setting small actions that will build your confidence again. So it could be about reaching out for feedback, researching new opportunities, reaching out to your network, anything like that, but taking some small achievable action. And then the final piece, the seventh piece, is about building your resilience toolkit. Now, I'm willing to bet that most people encounter some kind of setbacks every so often. And this might be on a quarterly basis, it might be more often, it might be less often. There are some things that cause us challenges. And actually, we don't want to dodge these things. We don't want to mitigate them and manage the risk of them happening. Things will happen. And actually, our resilience is our ability to deal with these things as they show up. And there are some things that we can do to help us be more resilient. And resilience isn't about bouncing back, but it's about regaining our shape and being able to tackle things again. So things that can help us might be some reflective journaling, might be some mindfulness, some breathing exercises. It might be having some affirmations. I've got through tough things before, I can handle this too, or this too shall pass. Anything that can help you build up your resilience muscles over time. So there we have it. We've covered a number of different things during this short video. There are going to be times when we are feeling battered and bruised, where there are rejections or failures, and these things can feel really tough. And I don't want to belittle them, because I know that we all go through them and we feel them to different extremes as well. But often they can represent powerful opportunities for growth. So I've covered off 7 steps here today. The first one is about acknowledging your feelings and being kind to yourself. The second one is about separating your identity from the outcome. The third is about looking for the learning. There are always lessons to be taken. The fourth is about reframing the story that you tell yourself. The fifth is talking it through. If nothing else, talk through with people that you trust. This can be very therapeutic for you in itself and can lead to some great outcomes as well. The sixth point is taking action even if it's really small steps towards your final goal. And the seventh point is building up your resilience toolkit. So I hope that's been helpful in dealing with some of your own challenges, mishaps, step backs, failures. And if it would benefit you having a career discussion to talk about any of these points, feel free to get in touch and book your slot.